Did we figure out the phone?
Yeah, we did. Phone. All right, we did.
Oh, that's fantastic.
All right, well, this is we're back with Stinky Art's Music Mart with A. Ver. We got Martin here today.
Hello.
And I just got to sit down here. All right, and then like we've been kind of teasing all afternoon. Just so I do get your name right, can you say your name for me again?
Trez.
Trez, all right. Well, we got Trez from Mares of Thrace here, and they have
Hi.
How are things going up there in Calgary? Are you in Calgary right now?
I am in Calgary right now. There's been wildfires all over the province, so there's a very spooky... You know the movie The Road?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's kind of what we got going on outside. There's a spooky, opaque gray sky and a spooky red sun. It's terrifying. It's very doomy, though, so maybe that's, like, appropriate in a way.
Yeah.
You've done that to us also. We have the smoke here as well.
Oh, shit, sorry.
Yep.
I blame us because we love sucking oil out of the ground as a province and then burning it. But you guys are oil country, too, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oil forever.
Yeah. And just a quick,
Okay, so...
a quick reminder: we also are on the radio, so
we should have led with that.
Yeah, we should have led with that. We got to watch our language a little bit.
It's live.
So
Oh.
It is live. So we're all good. I do have a button here that says dump, so I did hit the dump button. So
we're good to go.
We're good to go. So it's happened plenty of times before. Like I said earlier, my daughter is here with me, and I'm constantly hitting that dump button. She's just.
She's got a potty mouth over there.
She's got a potty mouth.
Hi, Eddie.
Hello.
So, so again, we do have, we got a show coming up at the Aquarium, June 12th. You guys are doing looks like a Canada-U.S. tour?
Yeah, it is 23 dates throughout the Midwest and then the American Northeast and Central Canada, and then a quick dip into Southern Ontario and Quebec. Everybody who sees the itinerary keeps saying stuff like, man, that's like brutal and punishing. Are you guys going to be okay? Like, come on. It's not that bad.
Yeah, it's you like nowadays the bands all want to have a day off every 3 days, feels like. So yeah, yours it does look crazy to me. I don't know. I thought it looked crazy.
I mean, the problem with days off is that there's no opportunity to offset the cost of my insatiable lust for Waffle House.
Yeah, I guess that does make sense then for you.
Nice.
Yeah, those scattered and smothered and covered piles of hash browns. The cost adds up over time, so we got to at least try and earn our keep.
It'll be 2 shows a day next time to cover it.
Yeah, got to get those smothered covered.
There's a work ethic I can get behind.
Nice. Very cool. So yeah, we got we've got you here in Fargo. Looks like on 12th at the Aquarium.
I think it's tour kick, like basically the United States kickoff, sort of.
Yep.
Yes, it is. Which means that we will have just freshly crossed the border, which is always
You're going to be
always
angry.
a fun experience.
Yeah.
Honestly, we've never had a hard time because we clean up reasonably well and have our paperwork in order and just project that Canadian politeness and inoffensiveness. Hopefully.
So when you cross the border, from Canada, do you deal with Americans then guards, and then when we go that way, we deal with Canadian guards. That's cool.
Yep.
We got it easier. Yeah, American guards are probably a lot lamer.
It's very case by case. I think just like anything. We've never I've heard pretty awful stories, but we've never had a problem. No, okay, I'm jinxing myself right now.
Yeah,
so,
let's just actually get off this topic now.
Good idea.
Don't want to ruin it.
So so you guys are coming here on the 12th, and it's you and your drummer's name's Casey, right?
Yep.
Okay. Very nice. Well, I think we're going to go through some questions here. We got some questions kind of set up. A.Ver, you want to ask one? You got one?
Not first.
You don't want to go first? Okay. All right. Well, you kind of mentioned something before, with the Waffle Houses, and it kind of almost answers my question. But any non-music related places that, other than Waffle House, that you can't wait to visit while you're on tour, something you miss, because I know you've you've lived in the States a little bit. You've toured before. What is like somewhere that you're just like, oh my God, I can't wait to get to wherever?
Oh, this is an easy one, actually. Any legit Mexican food is very difficult to come by in Canada. So usually it's, like, I joke about Waffle House, but honestly, any time I spend in the U.S. is a blur of tacos.
Nice.
That's like my life
Or-
in general.
Well, you'll have to recommend, if there's a good spot in Fargo, you'll have to recommend it because
totally.
I absolutely will check it out.
Yeah, we have some cool ones here. Vinyl Taco is pretty cool. We have some cool ones here in Fargo.
Yeah,
so.
like is it Mangoes?
Mangoes is good. Yeah,
Mangoes
Mangoes
is
is
pretty good.
My
awesome.
teacher's obsessed with that.
Yeah.
Fargo is like people think that where there's nothing here, but then when you get here, there's actually like a few things here, and people are like, "Whoa, there's a few things there." That's pretty much how it goes. They come in like, "Wait a minute, there's roads here."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys
have roads. Cars are here.
You guys have multiple Applebee's.
Yeah.
Dude, that's like the mark of civilization right there. It's multiple Applebee's. Yeah, that and Mexican food and also like good Southern food. Those are the two things that are much more difficult to get here.
Okay.
So I will be some shrimp and grits.
What about good Southern Canada food?
Good Southern. Well, the funny thing about Canada is I think the statistic was 90% of the population lives within 30 miles of the U.S. border.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah.
most of us are Southern Canadians.
I didn't even that's a wild statistic, honestly. It's a huge country you
might
got
be-
going up there.
I might be miscommunicating. I might be relaying it a little bit, but I know it's a crazy disproportionate amount.
So like the Southern Canada is just like right above the border. That's fun.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So you and I talked for the HPR thing. So I'm trying to take some of the stuff that we talked about and talk about that here. You have a new drummer. What's the difference playing with Casey versus playing with your former drummer? Was your former drummer named Steph?
Yeah. Funny story. They're actually the three of us have been best friends for a really long time. They're actually roommates right now, and they do cardio and like drink smoothies together.
Oh, that's nice.
That's awesome.
It's
Yeah.
very oddly specific, but I like it.
Trying to think of the primary difference between the two. Primary difference between the two is that Casey speaks metal with kind of a roots rock flavor, and Steph speaks metal with a jazz accent. That's the biggest difference I can think of.
That makes sense.
Very
Who's
cool.
better?
Who's better?
Yeah.
Oh, there's time for the tea, as the kids say. They both have different strengths, and I greatly enjoyed the flavor that both of them added to the band. And I think that's impossible to answer.
That's a
Yeah.
beautiful
Actually,
answer.
I read once that the cutest beef in all of hip hop history is Big Boy and Andre 3000 from Outkast arguing over which one is better, and each one said the other one was better. That's Casey and Steph. It's the cutest, most wholesome thing you've ever seen in your life.
Good. So they would each tell you that the other one was better. I like that.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Nice. Nate Ever, you got something? You got a question?
What was the first instrument you played? What started you
The
off?
first instrument I played, that's a good question. First instrument I played when I was a little baby, and it became apparent to my folks that I was musically inclined, was just a little crappy kid's keyboard. But I just sort of listlessly honked away on that. But my dad was a classical guitarist, and so when I was large enough, he permitted me to like a hand-me-down classical guitar when I was about 12. And that was it. It was all over. It was all over after that.
Nice. So it sounds like you kind of always had music in your life. Are there some certain bands or some of the earliest bands you remember kind of like getting into, or really kind of like, oh yeah, this is what I want to do, and this is what I want to listen to?
Are we talking like bands that I'm proud to cite as an influence, or bands that I'm mildly embarrassed to cite as an influence?
I'd like to hear the ones you're embarrassed with.
Both.
I'm just
Both.
kidding. I'm actually
Yeah.
not embarrassed about any of my influences. I don't think there's any such thing as guilty pleasure. I will talk all day long about how like grunge was awesome and amazing and informative, and not feel even the slightest bit bad about it. Let's see. I remember there was one point where Stone Temple Pilots Core was like the heaviest record I owned, and I was very, very proud of that. Like in terms of music that I immediately heard and thought, oh, I want to make music that exactly sounds like this, that's like cool. I would say it was Sabbath Bloody Sabbath by Black Sabbath.
Oh, nice.
I would say STP is cool.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
You guys are totally my people.
So that was the same stuff. Like I remember watching those videos on MTV and being like, "Oh boy, it doesn't get louder than that."
No.
So you feel me on that, Ben? It's
I do.
heavy
Totally.
I almost said a curse word. It's heavy as heck.
Heavy as
Nice.
heck. Yeah, it is. It's heavy as heck, and especially during that time because MTV was still relevant.
Mm-hmm.
It was opposed to what else was playing. It was like very heavy because you would get like Jamiroquai or whatever, and then STP song would come on and you'd be like, yeah, here we go. So yeah, I lived that same life. That's a great band.
That's
Don't
fantastic.
ever be ashamed of that.
Oh no, I'm not. Like I said, I'm pretty okay. I'm trying to think of something even more obnoxious, like something that's going to make both of you or all three of you be like, ugh, okay.
Yeah, my favorite was Garth Brooks when I was a boy. So there's that.
I think mine was Weird Al. I remember seeing him multiple times as a small
Yours
child.
still is Weird Al, Dad.
He's still one of my tops. Yeah.
Weird Al rules.
Oh yeah.
Well, then you should come hang out in our van, then, because that's a pretty sizable portion of what we listen to.
All right.
I'm dead serious.
That's awesome.
Many driving through like scary mountainous roads. Actually, on our mini tour in February, when we braved a pretty scary snowstorm, we were definitely singing "I Want a New Duck" and laughing that the other person knew all of the words.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm even this week. Adad Verse, she had a like an orchestra concert at school, and the choir played, and they did. What song did they do? I can't even remember what song.
Something that Weird Al did a parody.
Oh, I think they did "Eye of the Tiger,"
Yeah.
and I asked our friends. I'm like, "Hey, have you ever heard Ryo the Kaiser?" Like, what's that? So I'm like, "Oh, let me send you a link here." So yeah, always. Seeing if people have heard the Weird Al version.
I think Weird Al was my first concert.
School concert would be
your
so
first?
much more cool if they played Weird Al songs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Strong agree.
Yeah.
I would go to them actually.
There's actually a funny Weird Al phenomenon, which is when you hear the parody before you actually hear the song that's being parodied.
That is my
for
life.
instance, I heard White and Nerdy long before I heard Ride and Dirty.
Yeah.
Same actually. I didn't know what. I'm not sure I've ever heard Ride and Dirty.
Yeah.
To be honest, but the other version is great. I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Do you even need to?
I don't think you need it. Exactly.
Well, I mean that kind of I had a kind of question like that because it looks like you guys you're in the van a lot. I know you start off in Calgary, then you go to Saskatoon, and then you're into Winnipeg. So it's a lot of driving. What do you guys do to kind of keep yourself from driving off into a ditch and ending it all on those long trips?
I'm just a weirdo who is like extraordinarily well built for road trips. I think maybe that's part and parcel of being Canadian is just we're used to it, like, or at least Western Canadian, because everything here is 10 hours, like a 10-hour drive away.
Okay.
I just like stare out the window. I'm like sometimes when you see a particularly happy like Labrador Retriever with its nose out the window and like a big grin and like it's just tail wagging.
Yeah.
That's like me in the van.
Do you ever drive, or are you always passenger?
I'm sure all of my bandmates would be like, yeah, we don't let her drive.
Nice.
Makes sense. Makes sense then. You just do that intentionally so that you don't have to drive.
Well, I
Probably
do.
both.
I do take. Yeah, definitely both. But I also take the responsibility of shotgun very seriously.
There you go.
When I used to be in like 3 or 4 person bands, if you're in the back seat and you nod off, it's fine. If you're in the front seat, you gotta entertain and keep an eye out for wildlife and like open a bag of chips so the driver doesn't have to. And I do now that there's only 2 of us, I take that responsibility very seriously. Just a tip for anybody listening: if you're, and of course this doesn't work if you're in the car by yourself. If the driver is nodding off, like if you have to keep driving and you're feeling groggy, the best thing you can possibly do for the driver in some kind of interesting conversation, it wakes you right up.
Totally. Yeah, like Cannibal Corpse works only for a while, but talking is what Talking is what really does it. Keeping the mind engaged.
It's got to. I'm trying to think of some of the more ridiculous questions I asked Casey on our last mini tour when he started getting a little drowsy. I asked he loved it. He's such a gear dork. I mean, I'm a gear dork too, but he's like 100 times the gear dork I am. I asked him what the most heartbreaking and regretted piece of gear he's ever sold was. And then he just monologued for like an hour and a half.
Just crying the whole time.
Just mighty tears streaming into his enormous beard.
The one that got away. Yeah, that's I know a lot of
everybody's
guys
got
like
one of those.
I know a lot of people in town like that also. You did tell last time we were talking. We talked a little bit about your other job in the video game world, and you said that when you started out, you worked just like jumped right into major interns at major companies. What was it like working in that industry, especially when you're working in like such a big company like that? Because you worked on like you said Mortal Kombat, wasn't it, for your like initial intern?
Yeah, I feel compelled to try and give an even-handed account of my time in AAA game development, but I also don't. So if you are up on this sort of news, on industry news at all, you will have definitely read about the heinous labor abuses that happen all the time. Yeah. And basically every kind of awful thing that can happen under that category happened to me while I was working there. So wow. I guess that kind of answers your question for you.
So we're just dragging up old bad memories.
It's fine. Like it's an industry with growing pains because it's a little baby industry. And since everybody under age 25 wants to work in it, there's a lot of very passionate people getting exploited.
Yeah, I can see that.
I would say it's the same in any creative industry.
The other thing I was going to just bring that up was that you said you were working on like a newer like AR style game that was dealing with like climate change. Can you give more info on that, or am I giving away too much?
Oh no, it's actually in beta right now, so I can talk about it. Yeah, I'm working for an indie based out of BC, and it is a AR game, which I imagine everybody's familiar with Pokemon Go, kind of similar to that in its use of AR. But you have to feed alien sky creatures, and there's a climate change plot that we're all very proud of.
Yeah, you had mentioned that last time, and it just sounded really cool. So I was trying to see when that might come out, so I could get it.
Don't have a release date yet, but the studio is called Holo Labs, like HOLO Labs. So anybody who wants to is free to Google them and follow them on Twitter and whatnot, and just watch the progress.
Sweet,
that's awesome.
Yeah, they also let me tour, so I'm very grateful to them right now.
Yeah, right.
They're kind of sugar daddying Mares of Thrace right now, as it were.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good way of describing it. Yeah, how hard is that? Like, I imagine, because the tour is a long time. I mean, is that most jobs won't allow that, so that must be pretty cool of them. They must be a pretty cool employer to just be willing to do that, work with you on that.
I think if you find anybody who does a lot of touring as a grown-up, like who pays their own bills, everybody's got an interesting workaround of some kind. And almost everybody I know, including myself, who does it is just a freelancer. Mm-hmm. So we like to keep our employment like relatively flexible in that regard.
Yeah, on your own time.
How Casey does it is his place of employment will completely fall apart if he's not there, so they let him go whenever he wants, pretty much.
That's awesome.
Nice. I know. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Ada,
Do I?
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it.
Okay. Do you have any like pre-show like routines or rituals?
You have really good questions. I like your questions a lot.
Oh, my dad bakes them up.
No, come on. Take
that credit.
You're supposed to take the credit.
Yeah, just take the credit. Pre-show rituals. I don't really, like, I've been doing this for so long that I don't really get nervous anymore. But I think even, like, people who've been doing this for a long time, most people I know have to pee, like, a half dozen times before they go on. So I don't know if that counts. Also, I like to eat chips or, like, anything greasy. I once got a tip from Christian pop singer Amy Grant, that, like, some people swear by steam inhalation or like licorice tea to like warm your pipes up, but I have found Amy Grant's tip to eat something greasy and salty much better. So basically, go pee and eat chips.
Nice.
How's that?
Is Amy Grant your neighbor?
No, not to my knowledge.
Okay, just checking. Just checking. Maybe she's just coming over and sitting on the patio, just having coffee with you in the morning.
Just a couple bags.
Yo, somebody just sang a line from her big hit, and I'm very, very impressed.
That was me. Yeah, I grew up with my mom listening to a lot of just 80s pop radio, and where she immigrated from the Ukraine, so she didn't really know the words, but she just hummed it all. So I just heard a lot of that stuff. So yeah,
Art's got a very eclectic taste in music.
Yeah, it's kind of all over the place. So.
One of my favorite things is there's been several interesting like YouTube phenomenons of this, which is on like any sort of reality TV singing show, like competition in Europe. People who don't speak English and will sing an English song, but clearly their command of English is a little bit shaky, so their interpretation of the words is like, what was the one I just saw? Oh man, it was funny. It was Mariah Carey. And it was the person who was singing, and like she had great pipes, but it was a very like gobbledygook Charlie Brown's parents kind of language.
Nice.
Anyway, I'm not doing it justice. Anyway, as you were.
All right.
Carry on.
Carry on.
All right. Anywho, what else we got here?
Are there any bands currently up in your area that people down here don't know about yet that we should maybe know about? Canadian bands or local bands that you have around you?
Let's see. Who do I want Americans to listen to more? There's a band from Ottawa called They Grieve. I feel a kinship with the other two pieces, and they're they put out one of the best slow heavy records I've heard in a while. We did our mini tour in February with a gothic doom band called Tribunal, who were super awesome. Very spooky. The best part is that two of them are lawyers, so they're like goth lawyers who are in a band. I love that shit.
That is
I love
awesome.
that stuff.
That stuff.
Yep.
What band are you most excited to play with on the upcoming tour?
So booking stuff DIY is a lot of work, and that is basically all I did for like the first 4 months of this year. And that was pretty tiring, but like the beauty is that for the most part, I got to hand select who we play with. Yeah. And so almost any band we're playing with is because I'm excited to play with them. But if I had to pick no, that's hard to say. I'm really excited to play with Couch Slut.
I was going to say that's an awesome band. A perfect fit for that, with you guys, I feel as well.
Also excited to play with the Austerity Program, who are like a legitimate influence of mine.
Yeah, that is a good one. Yeah, Couch Slut is such a good band. I when I first saw the flyer and it had Couch Slut on there, I was like, for all the shows, and then I looked at it and cried a little. But
yeah, I'm gonna try and like make them be my friends. So maybe we can play. So maybe we can play more shows in the future. Yeah, we are doing three shows with the Austerity Program, though, which I'm super stoked about, and also Lopan, who are another one of my favorite stoner doom bands. Jeff is a friend of mine. We became friends when I was playing bass in Kenmount for one tour, and we just became friends. And usually I try to not punch too far above my weight in this regard, but just on a whim, I was like, hey, we're playing Columbus. Would you guys be into playing with us? It's totally okay to say no, because I know like big deal bands are pretty sparing about when they play their hometown, so it's totally okay to say no. I won't be offended. And to my shock, he said yes. So sometimes you just got to shoot your shot.
I liked when we talked for the High Plains Reader that you said part of being an adult in bands is being able to just be comfortable asking your friends to go on tour with you. I thought that was pretty funny. Or just for bands to play shows with you, you know?
The worst they can say is no, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like not going to hurt. You're not going to hurt your feelings because your band is good enough too, where you should feel pretty confident that they're not going to be like, oh, they suck.
Well, thank you. I wish I felt that confidence. I'm not quite there yet. I'm also like allergic to like being presumptuous and asking for favors, and I'm like, oh no, am I asking too much? Am I being annoying? But sometimes you just got to push through that and do it anyway.
Totally. The music is great. I think anybody's going to say yes to you moving forward, so I wouldn't be too worried about that.
I think you're giving us too much credit, but I'll take it.
Yeah. Take the credit when it's given. So you have come here one time back in, like, I think it was 2011 or something like that. And I asked you memories, and you said it was it a Waffle House here too that you mentioned?
No, it was a local restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Brandon it was somewhere where Brandon from Sleeping with Gethsemane took us. Great band, by the way. And he was a chef. If I recall correctly, he was training to be a chef at the time. So I knew it was going to be good, and it was amazing. So, but I do not remember the name of the restaurant, unfortunately.
Have you ever seen the movie Fargo?
Of course.
So you're a little bit worried to come back here because the people in here are pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I will abstain from making any Fargo references if you abstain from making any Cool Runnings references, because Calgary is where Cool Runnings takes place.
Man.
And I'm sure you guys are pretty sick of. Although interestingly,
Cool
the
Runnings.
TV show segments of the TV show Fargo were actually filmed here, so we have the spiritual connection.
We're
now.
actually sort of connected. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
You got anything else here, Art? I know I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Yeah, I think I just wanted to. What else today? I guess anything fans can do to kind of support you guys while you're on tour. Like if you're not coming to our town, or if there's a town you're not coming to, is there someone, if there's something else that we can kind of do to support you guys?
Buy merch.
Buy merch.
Buy merch. I keep a much closer eye on band finances than I used to, and it is amazing how merch basically bankrolls everything. So if you wanna help a band out, buy some merch. Everybody sells stuff on Bandcamp these days. That's the most direct thing you can do. And it pains me to say that, like, it really pains me to say this, but streaming people on Spotify legitimately does help.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it gets
Like,
eyes,
We don't, we certainly, I like to joke that our Spotify streams have made our record label literally dozens of dollars. But that's actually, like, streams is actually, that's a metric people look at when they decide to work with you. So that's another real low bar thing you can do to help fans you like out.
Just listen, yeah. And all your stuff is on Spotify, so you can go listen to that on there.
Yep.
Anyone who's listening, just type in Mares of Thrace. You can listen to it there. But then, yeah, go buy it on Bandcamp if you like it. That's usually how I roll. Well, thank you for calling in. I was going to ask you another goofy question because I am really guilty of this. And it's like when bands announce their tours, I'll go in the comments and I'll be like, Fargo? No, Fargo? Does that drive you crazy, and do you want to kill those people? Or is it like a good way to get you to come to their city?
So I'm gonna lay down some harsh truths here.
Let's hear it.
The fact of the matter is that if you are a B or C market, smaller bands and sometimes bigger bands cannot afford to stop in your town, and that's just the way it is. And I say that as somebody who grew up in a B market and moved to a C market. Like, it just sucks, and that's just the way it is. But, like, that's just, you can't. We're ultimately like slaves to geography.
Yeah, and we used to like have a pretty decent, because we're in a good as far as that goes, we're in a pretty decent spot. Because people coming south from Canada, from Winnipeg, will have to pass by here, and then people going west or east generally have to pass somewhere near here. So we used to have like a pretty decent, like, kind of like be a Wednesday stop for some band, but that's sort of went away. Now it's like Sioux Falls and like almost like Omaha or some places in Kansas.
Bozeman.
Yeah, just like people are starting to skirt around us. So we're trying hard, Art Riot for sure, to like start that pathway again, because it's we're a decent spot here. People go to shows. People always buy merch. I think you'll find that you'll have a good time here, bands. I'm advertising to bands that are listening right now, but come to Fargo. Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. We miss having shows here. Come back. We miss you all.
You're also ideal for Canadian bands because back in the day we used to try the route north around the Great Lakes, but that's like three 3 straight days of driving, whereas going through the U.S. and through the Midwest is a million times more worth it in terms of population centers. So,
and we're all starving for shows out here, so we participate a little bit harder, I feel like, just because we don't get as many.
Yeah, I mean, people in New York are like, oh, who are you again?
Yeah, my 4th show this week. Cool. But we don't have 4. Man, I drew 2 cards that we already did.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right.
Well, while we still have you here, like I said, we like to do Would You Rathers, and we have a box of Would You Rathers, and we all kind of pick one, and then we kind of talk about it. So,
okay, I love this.
We're going to ask you, would you rather pee every half an hour?
Permanently smell like cigarettes.
Or have a mosquito buzzing around your head whenever you're trying to go to sleep?
Wait, so that's all 3 of them?
Yeah, so you have to pick one of those which you would rather have.
Should we answer them too?
Let's read them again for her. Have a mosquito buzzing around your head whenever you're trying to go to sleep.
Permanently smell like cigarettes or...
pee every half an hour.
Definitely pee every half an hour.
I think I'm going that way too. I think as I get older, it's kind of naturally happening. So
I was gonna say I drink so much caffeine. It's kind of a way of life for me. Whereas the other 2 are unbearable. Like cigarettes cigarette smoke, especially old cigarette smoke, is one of the vilest smells I can think of.
So my bladder's still working pretty good. I think I would go with a mosquito because it's not going to bite me, and I sleep pretty soundly. I don't think it's going to bother me. I think we'll become friends over time. If it's the same mosquito. I'll recognize, I'll talk to it. It'll be a pet, essentially. It's like a comforting pet.
I don't think they live that
So it's not biting you, it's just making an annoying sound?
Yeah, just flying around, just hanging out.
Just hanging out.
Oh, I thought of a loophole. You could just wear earplugs.
There you go.
There you go.
And when you're sleeping,
really
it's like,
obnoxious,
it's just guarding you. Yeah. It's like a garden mosquito. It bites anyone else.
It bites anyone else, yeah. Just stay away from bats.
Yeah, so I would choose the mosquito. That's my choice.
I like that one too.
Okay, I need everybody else to weigh in. I need to know everybody else's picks.
I had a question and I completely forgot it.
All right.
I was going to ask Okay, I absolutely forgot my question.
Okay. Are you gonna?
Can we hear your?
Luckily, we're on live radio, so.
Can we hear your thoughts on the pee versus a mosquito versus a cigarette smell?
Yeah.
I would love to hear your answer.
Well, I had a question about the loopholes.
Oh, the loopholes. Okay, the earplugs.
Oh.
Not yet. Nah.
Okay.
Peeing loophole? A pee loophole? If you just pee in your bed?
I mean, you could.
Diapers.
You wear diapers?
Like plastic sheets.
Diapers aren't that bad. I mean, I don't wear them, but I remember from being a young baby, they weren't that bad.
Going on, Martin?
Didn't mind it. It took me many years to give them up. I think they're not that bad.
Well, let's get a diaper in here. Let's get Martin to put it on. Walk around for a little bit and see how it goes.
Yeah, all right.
Wait.
Do you remember your question?
For the... Wow.
Are you all right there?
No.
No. All right.
Well...
Yeah, I think it's all the smoke in the air. That's what it is.
Yeah, all that Calgary smoke that's drifted down into our pristine, untainted air down here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's not your fault. We don't blame you.
So Martin's going with the mosquito.
What are you doing?
I'm going with the pee every half an hour.
Because he already does it.
Because it pretty much already. I drink enough water that it's just like, yeah, gotta go. Just yeah.
I'm just gonna do the mosquito because I don't feel like it would be that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like mosquitoes sound like airplanes or anything.
Nope.
Well, if it gets in your ear, it sounds pretty horrible. So if this one's going in your ear, I'll tell it not to. But
Are you gonna just tell the mosquito to get out of your ear?
Yeah, we're gonna be buddies. Over time, me and this mosquito are going to be good friends. I have a feeling I make friends with most animals, mosquito, and we will bond. So I choose that always.
All right.
This is the most awkward radio show. We do really awkward radio shows at this station, but they're fun and they're different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I love this. This is one of the most fun interviews I've done in recent memory. Nobody's ever asked me about cigarette smokes
Hey,
versus.
let's do
peeing
one
every
more
hour.
then. You want to do one more?
We'll do one more here.
We'll do one more, and then we'll play some of your
please.
songs, and then we'll get out
I
of here.
think she was going to go with the mosquito, but earplugs.
It's a good choice.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Adapper, you want to grab one?
So first one is have a permanent itch in the middle of your back. That is a bummer.
Hold on.
A lot of these cards we've
Already
done
done
all.
on previous shows, and we just kind of all right. Have your cell phone only be able to charge to 10%.
Wear the same pair of socks for an entire year without washing them.
Ugh.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
Ooh.
So socks for a year. Only charge your cell phone to 10%.
Or the itch in the back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with cell phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have to go with cell phone too. That the middle of the back itch, like I swear at least once a week while I'm walking the dog, someone catches me just like rubbing up against a tree, just like a bear.
Right.
Just trying to like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
just,
and then once you get like too old and you just can't, even the middle area, it doesn't matter where it's on in your back. You can't get there.
Can't get there.
You can't get there. It's like you either got to have somebody to help or do the bear back on a tree.
Yep.
And nobody wants us to be seen doing that around Fargo. So
No.
we'll shoot you.
I'm just gonna do with the back because I never really had a problem.
You can still get to
Itching
your
my-
back with your hands too. Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like it's just like the top, like in between the shoulder blades. It's really I can't get, but I don't have a problem with the middle back.
Well, I definitely wouldn't wear the same socks because then people would hate me. What was yours? Art?
Oh, I was. I think mine was the cell phone to 10%.
I think I would get fired if I had that. Because my phone already dies and I'm allowed to bring it to 100%. But I hate. Well, all right, let's go with that one. Yeah, I really don't like the cell phone, so I'll choose to let it die. That's my choice as well. That was kind of an easy one, honestly,
All right.
for adults.
Wait, do I have to wear my socks at night?
No,
Oh, good question.
I don't think so.
Oh,
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
you can take them off at night.
take them off.
okay.
Then
So
you-
going foot commando is not an option. Like you can't just go sockless.
No.
No. You gotta wear socks.
Never.
You gotta wear socks in a day, at
Yeah.
least when you're like going to the store or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't like wearing
Yeah.
socks ever. If I can avoid
Me
it,
neither.
I don't ever wear socks. So I would just not wear. I wouldn't want that at all. Because I don't wear socks most of the time. Is that it? All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you for calling in and letting us do this. I'm really excited for this concert.
Mhm.
It's going to be the first kind of cool underground metal show we've had for a while.
Awesome.
And those openers are really good as well. Idiot Manchild is one of my favorite Fargo bands right now, and some of my favorite people in Fargo as well. So it's going to be a bunch of really cool people, and it's going to be a great time. So if you're listening right now, come out. That's June 12th. That's at the Aquarium in downtown Fargo. You know where that's at. That's right above Dempsey's. You can come in the back. A lot of people are confused about how you get up there. You can come in through the back door, and then you just walk across the bar and then come upstairs. It's friendly up there. Come up there. Right now, tickets are $10 if you buy them in advance, so you might as well get on that now. But yeah, come to that show. It's going to be really fun. That's June 12th at the Aquarium. Mares of Thrace, Hanging Wound, and Idiot Manchild.
And then remind us where we can find you online and all the socials and all that.
We are maresofthrace.bandcamp.com, or I mean, I most of my candid goofies stuff is on Instagram stories. So if you would like to be deeply entertained by my antics, Mares_of_Thrace on
Nice.
Instagram.
Nice. And then I think you've got some of your artwork up there also on Instagram. If you want to check
Yeah,
that out.
that's Trez_makes_art. So I just love underscore so much. TREZ. I remembered to say Z instead of Z.
Nice.
I don't know if I told you this last time I talked to you, but there was like 13 people that were like, "Who made your poster?" So when you get here, you could make like $118 real quick off some people if you want to make some posters.
We are gonna. I had the poster for the whole tour printed off, so you can definitely come grab one of those.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. Well,
All right. Well, we're gonna play some more of your music here. Do you have a song you'd like us to play?
If you had to pick one song that best represents your band, which one would you have us play?
Maybe Mortal Quarry, track 4 on the Exile. That's probably my favorite one off the Exile.
All right. Well, we'll get that going here. Again, thanks for calling in. I know I'm excited to see you on June 12th. I know Ver won't be able to do it, but we'll take. I think it's a 21 and over show.
Well, we can get her up there.
We'll get her up there. We'll
I can get her up there if she wants to go up there.
Maybe we can get one of your friends in like a big coat, and then we'll.
Oh my gosh! I already
Oh,
know-
two of you
Trench
in a
coat.
trench coat.
Trench coat.
Yes.
Trench coat. Yeah.
I could definitely get you in if you do that.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that's what we'll do.
All right. Well, let's get some Mortal Quarry going here, and this is off the Exile album, Mares of Thrace.
All right, we'll talk to you June 12th. Thanks again.
Thanks again.
It's been a pleasure. We'll see you next month.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Stay